Winter chores don't have to take all day, but they do require good systems. In today's episode, I'm sharing what a typical winter day on our ranch looks like, how we divide chores, manage water in freezing temperatures, and keep winter from turning into a constant crisis mode. If winter feels overwhelming, this episode will help you think through a simpler approach. Hey friends, welcome to the Get Goatwise podcast. Are you longing to raise goats and other animals for food but don't know where to start? Do you want to be more self-sufficient and less dependent on the grocery store? Do you wish you had a mentor to walk you through raising livestock? Hi, I'm Millie, animal scientist, cattle girl turned goat rancher, co-owner of Dry Creek Livestock, and simple living enthusiast. For 15 years, I've been on a mission to raise all of our own meat, eggs, and dairy. Here, we'll talk about raising goats and other homestead livestock, how to create sustainable animal management systems that actually work, and a bit of off-grid life with kids and livestock. If you're ready to take control of your food supply, raise livestock with confidence, and provide your family with the most nourishing meat, eggs, and dairy available, you're in the right place. Kick off your muck boots, pour a cup of coffee, and let's talk livestock. Before we jump into today's topic, I want to ask a quick favor. If this podcast has helped you at all, whether it's giving you confidence, clarity, or a practical strategy to try, I'd really appreciate you leaving a review. Reviews are one of the main ways other goat owners find this show, especially those who are just getting started and need solid, practical information. To leave a review, head to Get Goatwise on Apple Podcasts, scroll down to Ratings and Reviews, click on the purple words that say Write a Review, give me some stars, and share your thoughts. And as a thank you, I've got a free kidding due date chart waiting for you. Just go to getgoatwise.com/kidding-chart. It's on the honor system. Leave a review, grab your chart, and know you're helping someone else find their footing with goats. Here's what's been happening on the ranch this week. All of the chickens are in the barn now. Once snow and ice make it difficult to care for the older hens in the chicken tractor, they get moved into the barn for the winter. It simplifies chores and keeps everyone happier. We're more than 2 weeks into breeding season. In another week, I expect things to quiet down in the breeding pens because everything should have come into heat by then, and these goats usually breed up in the first heat. We'll leave the bucks in long enough to cover a second heat just in case. Then pull them out and combine the breeding groups back into one herd for the rest of the winter. That will simplify hay feeding quite a bit. We finally have actual winter here. Still milder than usual, but winter nonetheless. And winter changes everything on the ranch. We have good systems in place now, which makes winter a more restful season. But I clearly remember years when winter chores took up most of the day just to get feed and water to all the livestock. So today, I'm going to share what our winter management looks like, not as a template you need to copy, but as an example to help you build your own peaceful winter plan while still meeting all your animals' needs. Let's talk about chore assignments. Chores are assigned, and everyone knows what they're responsible for. In winter, we don't rotate chores. Each person keeps the same assignments day after day. That consistency matters because winter exposes small problems quickly. Frozen hoses, low water intake, animals acting off. When the same person does the same job every day, they notice changes faster and fix issues before they become emergencies. It also cuts down on decision making, which saves energy when everything already takes more effort. We let the sun come up and bring a little warmth before we start chores, which this time of year, it's usually around 10 a.m. when we get started. Stacy takes care of all the water. Water is a big job in winter. The goal is to make sure everything has a chance to get a good drink every day, preferably a couple times per day. When temperatures are well below 0 Fahrenheit, the priority shifts a bit. We want everything to get at least one good drink, and the animals learn that when it's that cold, they need to drink while we're clearing ice and filling tubs because things are going to freeze back up quickly. I talk more about training livestock for winter water management in episode 9, and I'll link that in the show notes. Stacy has his own system that works really well. He waters everything in a specific order, breaks ice, and refills tubs. We don't want excessive ice buildup around watering areas, so he adjusts the number of tubs based on consumption. If there's a lot of ice left in several tubs, he'll remove one. If they're consistently empty, he'll add one back in. This is something he pays attention to every single day, and it's one of the reasons it's so important that each person keeps the same chore assignments. He knows exactly what's normal and what's off because he's the one doing it daily, and that allows him to work faster and more efficiently. Water can be a nightmare in winter, and one simple thing Stacy does extremely well is making sure hoses are completely drained after use. He hangs one end of the hose up in a loop, then walks the length of it to drain all the water out. If it's really cold, he makes 2 passes. The hoses stay right there. We don't roll them up because that creates low spots where water can collect and freeze. Some years we have to haul water in a tank, and we follow the same principle, draining the tank every day so it doesn't freeze up. Preventing freezing is much easier than thawing frozen hoses or transport tanks. Stacy also feeds the steer that is the companion to Ray's 4-H steer. While Stacy is watering, Sage and Ray feed hay. They have their own rhythm, and it sometimes changes depending on how much hay they have on their trailer. They let one group of does out of their night trap and lay out a feed row of hay in a new spot each day. They feed the butt kid pen by driving around the outside and pitching hay over the fence. Then they feed the group of does that stays in their night trap for the day. Once breeding season is finished, the groups will be combined and fed outside the night trap as long as the snow holds. Ray feeds his 4-H steer, and then Sage helps him tie him up and work with him so he'll be calm and cooperative by spring. This steer is a little more spunky than Sherman was, so it's going to take some consistent work to get him ready for show season. Ray also does the water in the barn for the dairy does and the LGD pup, and he feeds the cats. I'm in the office early, so when I hear them pull out with the tractor, I head to the barn to feed the dogs, dairy does, and chickens, and I spend some time working with the new pup. I check the mineral in all of the goat pens and make sure that everything has access to mineral. Once the seed gets here, I'll probably be the one spreading seed in front of the tractor, but that might be Darcy's job instead. Darcy takes care of her show chickens and ducks and gathers eggs. Soon her show goats will be here, and that will become her main chore responsibility morning and evening. We all tend to finish chores around the same time, and then we team up on anything extra that needs done. Putting bales in the kid pen, cleaning a section of the barn, or organizing and tidying things up in preparation for spring. All of this usually takes 1 to 2 hours. I do want to be clear. This is what winter chores look like in a moderate year. Weather dictates everything. There have been years when we've spent hours plowing snow just to access livestock before chores can even begin. No system eliminates the impact of extreme weather. What good systems do is keep hard days from becoming every day. After chores, we're free to work on other projects or school, generally at a slower pace. There will be plenty of daylight and long days to work 12 to 16-hour stretches in the summer. Most of our winter chores are done mid-morning. In the evening, Ray feeds his steer, Stacy feeds the companion steer, and Darcy checks for eggs and dumps the chicken waterers so they're not frozen solid in the morning. Winter chores can be simplified by following a few basic guidelines. Keep chore assignments consistent. It takes time to figure out what each person is content doing, but once you do, stick with it. Repetition builds efficiency, and efficiency matters in winter. Create a logical flow from one chore to the next. Don't bounce around. A good rhythm saves time, energy, and frustration. Manage water deliberately. Drain hoses and tanks immediately after use. Preventing freeze-ups is far easier than fixing them. Allow winter to be slower. Winter is not the season for maximum output. It's a season for maintenance, observation, and rest. If winter chores take all day, that's a systems issue, not a personal failure. Winter exposes weak systems, but it also rewards simple, consistent ones. You don't need more hustle in winter. You need fewer decisions and a better rhythm. If you want to talk winter management strategies or have questions, head on over to getgoatwise.com/community and start a conversation. See you next week. Hey there. Thanks for listening today. I'm so glad you're here. If this episode helped you or encouraged you in some way, share the link with your homesteading friends. And if you really want to help me out, click on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and a review. You can connect with me on Instagram or email linked in the show notes, and meet me back here soon for more Get Goat Wise.